encourage you and let you know that no matter what you're going through, there's still glory coming, and it's coming after this. Clap your hands, come on! Hallelujah! We want to encourage you tonight. Come on, while we sing. There will be glory. There will be glory after this. Hallelujah! And there will be victory. There will be victory after this. Say, God will turn it around. God will turn it around. He will bring you out. He will bring you out. There will be glory after this. Now clap your hands if you believe it. There will be glory. There will be glory after this. Hallelujah. There will be victory after this. Tell 'em, God will move. God will move for you. All you gotta do is praise Him. Now listen to this. God will move in your situation.
Good morning, Second Baptist. Good morning. We'd like to welcome you today. I hope that God has touched you right where you are. I hope that He has woke you up and started you on your right way. I hope that you have the joy of the Lord in your heart today. We welcome you in. Come worship with us. Come praise with us. Come lift the name of Jesus with us this morning. I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Vero as we lift our morning devotion, our praise, and our worship.
Sweet arm of prayer, sweet arm of prayer that calls me
allowing us to come together at this morning's worship service. To glorify you, to honor you, to praise you, and to worship you.
Hallelujah, God.
Thank you for keeping us last night, waking us up this morning in our right minds, to post of health and strength. Thank you for your Holy Spirit. Thank you for your word. Thank you for Minister Betts, who will preach your word. We ask a special blessing upon him as he delivers your word. And I pray for the sick, condition everywhere. Lord, we pray for bereaved families today. Special prayer for the Laird family and their bereavement of their loved one. And others like they. I ask these blessings in your son Jesus' name. Amen.
Good morning, Second Baptist. Your announcements for today are as follows. Services for Sister Mildred Laird are as follows. At the Smith and Thomas Funeral Home, 212 North 2nd Avenue, Maywood, Illinois. Tuesday, May the 19th, they will have visitation from 12:30 to 4:30. Wednesday, May 20th, visitation will continue from 10 to 10:30 a.m. 10:30 a.m. to 12 will be the funeral. Burial will take place at Oak Ridge Cemetery at 1 o'clock. Second Baptist Church is no longer taking donations for the J family. If it is your desire to continue to give, please give the donations directly to the J family. Felicia J. in charge. Looking for ways to stay engaged with your church family? Second Baptist Church's weekly Facebook activities include Tuesday trivia every second and fourth Tuesday at 7 o'clock. Wednesday at 7 o'clock is Bible study time at Second Baptist Church. Tune in Wednesday at 7 o'clock, hosted by our own minister, Christopher Betts. Newly started on Thursday will be our Gourmet Meals Thursday with Chef John Ministries. Cook along with Chef John, the son-in-law of our own Brenda Maxson. Ingredients and recipes will be posted on Tuesday. Follow along cooking video will be posted Thursday at 6 o'clock. Please take pictures of your meals and hashtag them Chef John Ministries. Our own Men's Day captain, Mr. Stinson, has sent in his Men's Day donation, and he's asking all of the men of Second Baptist to follow his lead. Family Day will be the 26th of May, next Sunday. Send all pictures for Family Day to Church Second Baptist. Send all pictures for Family Day to Church Second Baptist. That's our email address, our Gmail address. churchsecondbaptist@gmail.com. The following Sunday after that, on the 31st, will be Women's Day. Our speaker will be Marcy Thomas. All female praise and worship team will be given on that day. Please tune in. You'd hate to miss it. Following announcements, there will be a special presentation for Family Day, followed by a solo by our own Joseph Brown, followed by the word given to us by our own minister, Christopher Betts. Thank you.
even before you were in the belly of your mother. He said, I loved you with an everlasting love. He said, I keep you every time you make a mistake. He says, I'll love you forever. Let's give God our praise right now, Lord, for how good he is to us. No matter what you did yesterday, no matter what you may do tomorrow, he says, I'm committed to you. So are you committed to the Lord today? Let's look to the Lord in prayer. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you, Lord, for this blessed opportunity that we have the time to look into your word and take a deep dive into what it is that you're speaking to us in this season. Lord, I thank you for those that are participating in this service. I thank you for the precious word that you have given me, Lord. I pray that you may increase in all things so that I may decrease. Lord, Lord, I pray that your word will go forth crystal clear, Lord. That the hearers of your word will be renewed and they will be revived and refreshed in a new way. That as they enter into this message, Lord, they won't leave this message the same. That they will be filled with anointing. That they will be empowered, Lord, to do what you have called them to do, Lord. Lord, I pray that you bless us this morning. That you keep us, sustain us, heal us, set us free. Lord, we are not bound by this pandemic, Lord. But you have released us, Lord, in the midst of this pandemic. We are your people. We are called by your name, Lord. And Lord, we just thank you for the opportunity. We pray for our essential employees, Lord, that this message may reach them too. It may reach them wherever they may be right now. It may protect them and guard them, Lord. And guard their families. In the name of Jesus, we do pray. Amen. Amen. Good morning, Second Baptist. Once again, it is a privilege and an honor to be before you, to speak to you this morning. I'm excited about what God has given me. It is a part 2 of last week's message. So we're going to dig with the same scriptures of Matthew chapter 20, but we're going to focus on verses 17 through 19 and verse 23. Matthew chapter 20, verses 17 through 19 and verse 23. And it reads as thus. And Jesus, going up to Jerusalem, took the 12 disciples apart in the way, and said unto them, Behold, we go up to Jerusalem, and the Son of Man shall be betrayed unto the chief priests and unto the scribes, and they shall condemn him to death, and shall deliver him to the Gentiles to mock, and to scourge, and to crucify him. And the third day he shall rise. My God. And verse 23. And he said unto them, Ye shall drink indeed of my cup, and be baptized with the baptism that I am baptized with. But to sit on my right hand and on my left is not mine to give, but it shall be given to them for whom it is prepared of my Father. Amen. May God continue to add a blessing to the reading and the hearing of his precious word. Yes. This week, I want to take a deeper dive into what Jesus' speech to his disciples meant for him and for us today. I truly believe that God has plans to promote and elevate people right now, even in the midst of the season of COVID-19. I know that God can make the impossible possible because he's done it for me. But many promotions and many times of elevation and new positions that are ready to be released are on hold, not because God cannot provide, but we are not prepared for the cup that we have to receive along with this position. In life, as we seek and pray for new positions in life, new levels and new blessings and promotions and elevation, we have to understand that there's a cup that comes along with this. However, each new position has this cup and it represents the process. The process that you must endure to be all in. Can you handle the cup? So my topic this morning is, can you handle the cup? What's in the cup is sometimes heavy. What's in the cup is sometimes strong. What's in the cup is sometimes painful. What's in the cup is sometimes hurtful. But it must be taken in order to prepare and equip you for your new position. Last week I spent time speaking to the mothers and reminding them that before they become a mom, before they become a wife, before they were the girlfriend, they were a woman of God, fearfully and marvelously made. I wanted to remind mothers that you still have a purpose and a destiny of your own, and you must live out that out and not through others. I continue to pray that mothers don't lose the vision and the purpose that God gives them. I used Matthew chapter 20 as my text, and I focused mainly on the wife of Zebedee last week. We saw that Jesus brought all the disciples together, his inner circle, to tell them that he was going to die. And then that's when this mother of James and John asked, can I get a hookup on positions for my two sons? And then Jesus says, woman, ye know not what you ask. For I know you worship me, and just because you worship me doesn't mean you understand me. Because I'm talking about purpose, and you are coming up to me about position. Sometimes you cannot talk the God kind of talk when you have a small picture approach to life. By the way, can you handle what it takes to have the position? Do we sometimes ask God for things that if he gave them to us, we wouldn't be able to handle it? Jesus says, what you are asking for is a promise that only comes through process. And then he begins to take her through the process. This is where I want to pick up this Sunday. I'm no longer on the mamas, but I'm speaking to the papas, I'm speaking to the cousins, I'm speaking to the friends, I'm speaking to the aunties and the uncles and everybody that's listening.
Amen.
Jesus says, I want you to understand something about this process. I'm getting ready to go through some things. And when I go through these things, it's going to escalate. He said, they're going to mock me. He said, they're going to scourge me. And he said, they're going to crucify me. They are going to mock me, that's verbal. They're going to scourge me, that's the beatings. And they're going to crucify me, that's the killing. Whenever God is getting ready to promote you, there will always be an escalation of trouble.
Yep.
I don't know who that was for, but it was worth logging on today just to get that. Whenever God is getting ready to promote you, there will always be an escalation of trouble.
Yeah.
He said, they are going to mock me, they're going to scourge me, and they're going to crucify me. He says, it's going to start out amongst my own people. Come on, somebody.
Yep.
He said, it's going to start out amongst my own people. He said, they're going to turn me over to the Gentiles, and it's going to get worse. Whenever the enemy knows that you have a destiny, he will always send a distraction to stop you from getting to your destiny. And the distraction will always escalate before it gets any better. They are going to mock me, they're going to scourge me, and they're going to crucify me. And I hope that you're hearing me, because the enemy comes to kill, to steal, and to destroy. It's always going to get worse before it gets better. You have to understand that when all of this is said and done, are you sure you can handle the process, the cup, before you ask for the promise? Because I'm not going to let you sit in my seat until you have suffered with me. Jesus said, you cannot reign with me if you do not suffer with me. To him who much is given, much is required. And before you ask for something, you better look in that cup.
Yeah.
Jesus said, you are talking about the place that you want to sit, and I'm talking about the cup that you have to drink.
Right.
Are you so focused on where you want to sit that you have not looked at what you have to drink to get there? Jesus says, be careful what you ask for. You are asking for your kids to die, wife of Zebedee. I can't put them in that position if they can't handle this cup.
Right.
This woman knew not what she asked for because she was distracted by the attraction of the position. But she never understood the pain of the position. And then Jesus mentions baptism all of a sudden. And let me break this baptism down for you new Bible scholars. Baptism is actually about death. It's not about water. When Jesus says, I have a baptism to be baptized with, he is not talking about water. He already came up out of the water. He is talking about the water typified, which is the grave. And when he told them, you have to drink the cup and you have to go through the baptism, these dummies said, we got this. Don't worry, Jesus, we got this. This text illustrates how we underestimate what it takes to get to the next level. That we are caught up in the allurement of who sits on the right and who sits on the left, but we have not looked into the cup nor inspected the cross, which is the path to the position. We want the promise without the problems. We want the acknowledgement without the agony. We want the riches without the work. We want the fame without loneliness. We want pleasure without the pain. I'm sorry, do you not know what you asked for? Before you ask God for the chair, be sure you look up in this cup. Because between you and the chair is always a cup. And this woman knew not what she asked for because she was distracted by the attention of the position. And she never understood what it took to endure. I came to tell you, every position has pain. Every position has pain. Amen. If you are going to be a homeowner, that's a great position to be in. But it got some pain to it. Because it got some maintenance that you didn't have to do before. It got some issues that you didn't have to deal with before. If you want to own your own car, and that's nice, you have a nice and shiny car, and it looks real good when it's nice and clean and waxed. But you're going to need some gas in that car eventually. And then you're going to need some new tires on that car. And then sooner or later, you're going to need that oil change in that car. And then you're going to get some new brakes and a new battery in that car. There's some new things that come along with having that position of having a car. Right. You see, we want the positions, but we don't want the pain. And we want to sit in the seat, but we don't want to drink from the cup. And when Jesus told her how much it cost, we're not talking about a check. Jesus is not talking about writing a check to pay it off. We are talking about dying. When he told them how much it cost, they said, we got this. Really? Really? He says, before I get to the resurrection, I'm going to be mocked, I'm going to be scourged, and I'm going to be crucified. I want to take a few moments for those of you that are at the stage of being mocked, or being scourged, or even being crucified. You are going through humiliation right now. Your life is a mockery. Let me testify. There have been many times in my life that my life has been a mockery. Many times, the things I did publicly, I struggled with privately. Can I be real with you? Many times, I could help you out with your problems and your situations, but I couldn't fix mine. Can I be real with you? Many times in my life was a mockery. How could you be so strong in this area, but so weak in that area? It's all a mockery. Have you ever had something happen to you that mocked everything that you stood for? That said, I thought you were a Christian. I thought you were a man of faith. I thought you were a woman of power. I thought that you were counseling other people's marriages. I thought you. I want to talk to people that life has just simply mocked you. Life has mocked you. You are running around counseling. You have your own counseling center and your own daughter is pregnant. Life has mocked you. You are helping your girlfriend with her marriage and your husband just walked out the back door. Life is mocked you. Is there anybody watching where life has mocked you? Mockery, contradictions. How could I know this much and be in this kind of trouble? How could I be this powerful over here and be this weak over there? Can I be real with you today? Life is full of mockeries. There you are advising people about how to get their credit straight, and there you go, somebody come and repossess your car right now. Life is full of mockeries. Is there anyone that has been mocked sometime? Because I've been mocked. You lay down in bed at night and you lose respect for yourself. You become frustrated and humiliated, can't answer your own question. You help everybody else, but you can't help yourself. You fix everybody else's situation, but you can't fix your own. You cry yourself to sleep. You preach faith and power, and then you go home and you're weary all night long. Has there anybody been in a state of mockery? You're running a counseling center for kids and you're in your own driveway fighting with your own kids. Yeah. Is there anyone that has been mocked? I came to tell you, don't give up. Do not give up. You are going to be mocked sometimes. You're going to be beat sometimes. You're going to go through a fight that the fight beats you, but you're still going to survive it. You went through a test. You suffered a loss. You came out of it, but you almost lost your mind. You feel like a failure and a fool. You are frustrated, and your circumstances make you feel like you cannot go on. How can I have this degree and be living in Section 8? How can I have been this talented and be living in a homeless shelter? Have you ever had life beat you? You are going to get mocked sometimes, and you're going to get beat sometimes. But if you never get beat sometimes, you will never understand how to win. If you never get beat, you won't respect the game. If you never get beat, you will never understand who you are. I want to talk to people who is going through a period where life has beat you down. You almost didn't want to even log on today because life has beat you down. And then you can be mocked in private, and you can even be beaten in private, but you can only be crucified in public. He said, they're going to mock me, they're going to scourge me, and then I'm going to go through public humiliation. They're going to crucify me. They're going to nail me so that I can't get out of it. They're going to strip me naked and expose me into the entire world. And the terrible thing about being stripped naked is that it always creates shame. Even though the shame is foolish, because your nakedness is no different than mine. Your issues are no different than mine. Your secrets are no different than mine. Your situations are no different than mine. But when somebody strips you and puts you on public display, you feel like you are in the situation all by yourself. Is there anybody watching that feel like you're in a situation all by yourself? So Jesus tells the woman, they're going to mock me. They're going to scourge me, and they're going to beat me, and then they're going to crucify me. He said that when they get done crucifying me, let me tell you what's going to happen next. I want you to tell yourself, my story isn't over. My story is not over. After you have suffered a while, if you stand up to them talking about you, if you can stand up to getting beat sometime, if you can stand up to being crucified sometime, weeping may endure for a night, but joy is coming in the morning. Yes, Lord. Don't give up. Though it gets tough, though it gets tight, give up. When they talk about you, don't give up. When you feel like you have been beat, don't give up. When you are publicly humiliated, do not give up. Because if you can hang on in there, guess what? Early Sunday morning, you will rise again.
Yeah.
It hurt right now, but guess what? I'll rise again. I'm crying right now, but I'll rise again.
Oh, yeah.
I've been bruised right now, but guess what? I'm going to rise again. You ought to praise God until you don't feel the pain. You ought to praise Him until you don't feel the nails in your hands. You ought to praise Him until you don't feel the shame, because it ain't over.
Yes, Lord.
They mocked me, but it ain't over. They beat me, but it ain't over. I may be crucified, devil, but it ain't over. I have the grace for this. There's a grace over my life. For what I am dealing with right now, it don't mean I don't like it. It doesn't mean that I like it. Lord knows that sometimes I don't like it. But it doesn't mean that I have to enjoy it. It just means that it will not kill me. I've got a grace. When God gives you grace for something, grace does not make it enjoyable. Joseph was beaten and thrown into a pit. Grace didn't stop the bleeding, but it stopped him from dying.
Yes.
Paul lets you know the discomfort of grace. When Paul says that 3 times I begged you, Lord, to remove this thorn from my flesh. That's discomfort. But God said that my grace is sufficient for thee. Grace does not mean that you don't hurt. Grace does not mean that you don't bruise. It doesn't mean that you don't cry. Grace just means that you don't die.
Right.
That you don't collapse. That there's some kind of way you keep putting one foot in front of the other, despising the shame, despising the pain, despising the disappointment, despising the heartache. And yet, every time the alarm clock goes off, you get up and you do it again.
Oh, yeah.
Is there anyone walking in grace? What makes me angry about grace is when people see a grace on your life, they think that whatever you are going through doesn't hurt. It hurts. It truly hurts.
Oh, yeah.
It hurts so bad that I'm trying to warn you, don't ask for this. Don't ask for this cup. I know it looks good, but don't ask for this. That's what Jesus is telling the mother. Don't ask for this. You know not what you're asking. You see me walking in grace, but you don't know what you're asking. You see me walking in victory, but you don't know what I have to drink in the cup. You see me being consistent. I'm not consistent because I'm not in pain. I want you to get this. The presence of pain does not mean the absence of grace. I mean excruciating pain, emotional pain, disappointments of all types does not mean that God's grace is not on you. Paul said, Paul, I will not remove your problem because I know my grace is sufficient for your discomfort.
Yeah.
I know you're uncomfortable. I know that you don't like where you are, but I've given you enough grace that no weapon formed against you shall prosper. I'm not going to fix your marriage. You're going to limp through your marriage. But I'm going to give you grace to limp through. God is saying right now, in this season, I will not ease your discomfort, but I will add to your strength. Yeah. I will not ease your discomfort, but I'll add to your strength. In fact, my strength is made perfect in your weakness. So if I numbed your pain and I took away your weakness, then I would have to remove my strength.
What you say?
Where sin did abound, grace abounded more. I want you to lift your hands right where you are. God is adding grace to you right now. Right in this season, God is adding grace. Grace for what you have to deal with. Grace for your situation, grace for the cup that you have to drink, grace for the baptism that you are baptized with, grace for the agony that's on your job, grace for the problem that's in your marriage, grace for the problems that's in your church, grace for the kids that you are raising, grace for the parents that you're raising, grace for the issues that you're confronting. God is going to give you the grace that you need. Grace to run this business. Grace to be a single mother. Grace to be a single father. Grace to live the life that you have to live. We're talking about grace. God's divine enablement. Enabling me to function in spite of how I feel. That's grace. Enabling me to function beyond my feeling is grace. If you are captive to your feelings, you're not walking in grace. I speak grace over your life. I feel glory entering right into your room right now. Whether it's your living room, whether it's your bedroom, whether it's your closet, whether it's your kitchen, I feel glory entering into your room. I am closing now, but I want you to recognize the grace that is over your life. And you will never recognize the grace that's over your life if you are asking your feelings, am I graced? Because as a personal recipient of grace, I've had great grace to do the very thing that I'm doing. Not just grace, but great grace. But the presence of great grace does not mean the absence of great pain. It simply means that in the presence of great pain, he enabled me to do it anyway. Because he graced me for my assignment. In order to be faithful, you have to step over how you feel and do what God has called you to do in the season, in season, and out of season. Be thou faithful unto death. I'll give you the crown of life. And there is someone walking around, and they're walking in grace, and they didn't even recognize that they were walking in grace because they were waiting for the pain to go away. But grace is not scared of how you feel. Grace will stand up, Paul, in spite of how you feel. Grace is sufficient to take you over your feelings. That's what growing up is all about. Growing up is not about walking in how you feel. It's walking in the grace that's on your life. Whatever you've been through, God is screaming, my grace is sufficient. There's someone that needs to receive the grace that only Jesus can supply. If you have not accepted Jesus Christ into your life, now is that opportunity. You have been graced for this opportunity. He has already blessed you with grace awaiting you to recognize that he is your supplier of all grace. And if you want to accept Christ into your life this day, pray this prayer with me. Dear Lord, I thank you for the grace that's over my life, that you gave to me through your cross. You were mocked, you were scourged, you were crucified, so that I may have grace and life more abundantly. I receive you, Jesus, into my life as my Lord and Savior. And in your blessed name I pray, amen. If you prayed that prayer, you are saved today and walking in grace that God has given you. And I leave you with this. Though he slay me, yet shall I go. Though he slay me, yet shall I go. Though he slay me, though he slay me, yet shall I. Though he slay me, yet shall I trust him. Though he slay me, yet shall I trust Jesus Christ. Trust him this day in all situations. God bless you, church family.
Thank you, Lord.
Thank God for a message from Minister Betts. Remember the question, can you handle the cup? Can you handle the cup? At this time we will be dismissed. To the only wise God, our Savior, be glory and majesty, dominion and power, both now and ever. Amen.
'Tis so sweet to trust in Jesus.